Welcome. I am Vuyani from Let's Check In. Today I'm excited to introduce to you our new podcast, Let's Check In SMME Edition. Now, this podcast is established to help bridge the information gap within the SMME community. We will bring you expert advice and practical tools on how to run a business. So if you want to start your business, grow your business, or even exit it someday, this is a podcast that you want to tune into. We will air our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock. So if you want to start, grow, and exit your business someday, please, I encourage you, join in. Let's learn together. Until next time.
Okay.
Lerato, welcome again on the SMME Edition. Let's check in. How are you checking in today?
I'm checking in well, and yourself?
I am having a bit of flu.
Aish.
Yeah, I've been battling a flu since weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and...
Must warn us already mask and have sanitizers.
But how are we going to have a conversation today? If not
How did we get through COVID?
And we did somehow. Hey. Yeah, we did. Next time I'll warn you. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I could not miss today's sit down.
Awesome.
We're talking labor law.
Yes, labor law.
We diving deep into this thing now. What is labor law?
So labor law is the laws and governance rules of how to treat employees, how to manage salaries, how to discipline, how to treat employees.
Okay.
I could take it back to say before there was no labor law. Before it was slavery. People could own people, slave people, treat them however they wanted to.
Yeah.
And then that's how labor law started first. Okay, so the first act I believe that was created was a Master Slave Act, to at least say to the masters that at least give your slaves water once a day. Or give them food once a week at least.
Yeah.
So so they can have strength to work.
To work.
All hours of the day and night so it didn't protect the slaves that much. It just gave them some semblance of human dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where it first started with the Master Slave Act. And then labor law has been progressing since then to what it is now, where companies are held accountable and must be compliant in how they treat their employees, to not abuse their employees or overwork them or underpay them.
Yeah. Okay. And for me as an SMME or someone who wants to start a business, why is it important that I must know labor law?
Because I believe if you're starting a business, it's a startup, it's a small business, you don't have any employees, maybe you're alone, but you're not planning to stay there forever. I'm thinking you might have ambition to grow your business one day. It's already good to know how then to find the correct employees to join your business and how to hire them correctly and what all encompasses having an employee. Because there's quite a lot of elements with having an employee. And it's better you know it up front so that when you grow your business and you need to staff your business, you at least know how to go about it or what will be required so you can plan better.
Okay. All right. And in South Africa, who is the custodian of the labor law?
It's the Department of Labor.
The Department of Labor.
Again, I can take it back. It starts first with our Constitution. All laws in our country start with the Constitution. Any law that is created over and above, it's created over and above the Constitution. Because it starts with, on the Constitution, you have a right to be treated with dignity.
Yeah.
But when then it can go into labor law, what does that mean? That means being remunerated properly. So you have your basic condition of Employment Act that advises employers how you must remunerate, what breaks employee must get. Lunch break is not nice to have. It's by law. Your employees, if they're working an 8-hour day, they must have a break every 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
At least 30-minute break, an hour. So it trickles down from the Constitution and then it goes into labor law. There's many acts that govern labor law. The major ones or the popular ones are the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. That's to say employee must have a contract. What must be in the contract? They must have a lunch break. Like I said, what are their working hours? Those basics that you just must maintain.
Yeah.
Then it goes into the Labor Relations Act. That's now how to handle disputes and conflict within the workplace. And then you get to your employment equity, how to treat people equally.
Yeah.
And then you get to your skills development, how you must now train and develop your employees. Then there's other acts, Workmen's Compensation Act and all these other acts, but those are like the major four.
Okay. So that would be, I just want to go back to these ones. You said it's the basic conditions of employment, it's Labor
Relations
Act, it's Employment Equity
Act,
Act, which has a lot of things.
It's a lot.
Under it.
It's a lot.
And then there's the one for training. What do you call it?
The Skills Development Act.
Skills Development. Okay. So these are the four main ones.
These are the four main ones, yeah.
Okay. For someone who is starting a business,
yeah,
you need to know at least these.
It starts with these four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you think a person should start with? Someone who's starting a
basic
business.
Conditions of Employment Act. Like it's even in the name. It's the basic conditions of how you must treat employees. The bare minimum, the basics. How to treat an employee who's pregnant and has to go on to maternity leave.
Yeah.
It gives you all those basics.
Okay.
So that's where you would start.
All right. And then I know we're going to be covering, because this is just an introduction that we are trying to do. So I don't want us to go into 101 and 102. We'll cover those ones at a later stage. But for someone who is starting out, a business, someone who is, who's just registered their business, and now they know the different tax types, they've registered their, let's say for VAT or whatever other tax type that they would need to register for. In as far as labor law is concerned, what do they need in order to now have a business that is running, that is compliant to the law?
To the law. So there's no particular registration like a VAT type or like a VAT registration that you need to do. You need to be compliant with the laws. So the first thing I would say you must do is go onto the Department of Labor website and download the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. Whether you know it or not, you are held to those standards.
Okay.
Whether you have 1 employee or 10 employees, that's the standard you'll be held at, because the Department of Labor does do inspections. Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's planned, sometimes small organizations, large corporations, they'll pop up. You ask yourself, where did they get your number from or your address from? They'll just pop up and like, oh no, we're here. We just want to see, where's your contracts of employment? Where do you keep them? How do you keep them? Do you have them?
Yeah.
Where do the employees sit? They even look at where the surroundings of the employees.
Where are they having their lunch?
Where are they having their lunch?
Yeah.
So it could be random. So it's about being compliant.
Okay. It seems to me, somebody who is watching this podcast could be feeling like, now I'm going to need to have so many things. And this business is new, is starting out.
Yeah.
Should we be having employees? If I want to start my business, is there a way that I can start this business and be able to run it without really having
employees?
Have people offering you the service that you need offered, but not employ them as your employees?
Yes, you can. There's also still a compliance. Just know whatever answer I give you, there's still some sort of compliance factor to it. You're not going to get away with it completely.
So I'm not going to dodge the bullet.
I'm not going to dodge all the bullets, but to make it less cumbersome, like you're saying, you just started a business, you just went through the registration of the business and the tax compliance, and now what? You're like this. It's almost discouraging. That's why maybe some people their businesses don't take off, because it's so discouraging. The red tape, the costs of just starting it and having things in place.
Yes. And I'm also thinking just from the cost perspective, let's say I don't want to take on a cost of hiring someone that I have to pay at the end of the month. I don't even have orders. I don't even have, any work to do,
Or you're not guaranteed. You will have work constantly for them.
Yes.
So for me, I personally don't believe in hiring employees. I know that sounds strange, né? Because there's unemployment in the country. We need to employ people. I'm not saying we mustn't employ people. So there is a way to have somebody work for you without them being your employee. It's called an ISP, an independent service provider. ISP, independent service provider. They're an independent person providing you a service, not your employee. So this person could be somebody should be someone who's running their own company. You see where that's the complication where it comes in.
Okay.
You see. So let's say you running Let's Check In.
Yeah.
And then you want to hire me as, let's say, your HR consultant. So you could hire me full-time monthly as the HR in your business.
Yeah.
Or you can hire me as an ISP. I do have my own business in HR, my own HR consulting business. Then you could hire my services as an ISP and utilize my services on an as and when needed basis, monthly, bi-monthly, or as per what your compliance dictates, what you need to be compliant with labor law, and then remunerate me in that way. But I'll still need a contract.
Okay.
An ISP contract.
It's called an ISP contract.
It's an ISP contract. And an ISP is independent.
Yeah.
So it's not like you dictate to me when I must take my lunch.
Okay.
In some instances, we agree on my work hours. We agree, on my schedule. Okay. Because what also I need to provide in terms of paperwork is an invoice. So I must invoice you for my services.
So you don't get the ISP doesn't get paid a salary. They invoice to get paid.
Yes. But it could be your ISP for every month, for the whole year, right? So that means every month I must invoice you.
So that's allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you do it properly.
But it's a bit tricky because, I'm thinking if I want to start a quota shop, and I need a lady who's going to fry the chips and stuff. I can't expect this person now to already have a business, be an independent person. But also, even if they were to open their own business and become an independent service provider, to what extent can I have control over them now? If they decide, hey, I'm taking my lunch now, is that not a disadvantage in a sense that if I employ someone, I can say, you only take your lunch. This is the time that you take your lunch.
I have a personal opinion about this. Okay. I'd rather have an ISP than employee. Maybe because I'm in the HR field, I've been abused by employees. I've seen the employees abuse the employer and the employer abuse the employee. It's for me, I don't want to insult anyone. Ne? So please, nobody take offense. But an employee, I'd rather have somebody who's an adult, who can control themselves, who knows their deliverables and know they need to meet their deliverables so that they can get paid. Yeah. Unlike an employee who is going to know that you're going to have to pay them because they're bound by these labor laws. And these labor laws, they favor the employee. Why? Because in the past, the masters were the ones who were in favored over the slaves. Yeah. The masters had all the control. So the labor law is like flipping this the other way around. Yeah. Now the employees have more control. So yes, you could dictate to that person when they take their lunch, but also they could take more lunchtime, less lunchtime, do a go slow and not meet their deliverables, and you'd still be obligated to pay them at the end of the month.
No, I do agree with you. We had an experience earlier in the year where we had employed someone and the contract was saying they need to serve a notice if they are resigning. And we also needed to issue them with a notice if we were no longer going to need their services. They did not serve a notice and we withheld their salary. But then we learned that by law we cannot withhold that salary. In fact, there is a different way that we need to go about in order to retrieve the monies that were owed to us by the person. But if it was the other way around, the situation is completely different.
Exactly.
So I do agree with you that the law in some instances it tends to favor the employee over the employer. But then not everyone can have an ISP.
That's the thing. Not everyone can have an ISP. That's why I say there's always a catch to it. And also the ISP also has to be SARS compliant.
Ooh, you see
because now they have to account or where are they getting their money from.
Yeah.
And so there's a special form that they need to be issued for their SARS compliance.
Okay.
But it's just 3 documents. They contract, invoices, and the SARS document. So it's not too hectic. They don't have to have leave application forms. You don't have to run after them like, did you apply for leave? Let's see your sick note. Is it valid? If they're sick, they're sick. They can't work, no pay. Almost the ISP. So for me, that's much better to manage. Again, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but because I'm from the HR space, for me, an employee is almost like running a crèche. You have about 2 years or 3 years or 4 years old. Whereas I'd rather deal with an adult.
You want to deal with someone?
I want to deal with an
who's
adult.
Independent.
I want to deal with an adult.
But then not all of us are going to be able to get to that. Some of us we will have to employ.
You have to. There are some way you can't get.
The good thing is even if a person is an ISP, they are still employed. So it is alleviating the unemployment 100% that we have in the country.
100%.
Okay. So for someone who started a business and let's say they want to employ, let's not complicate things. Because I think there are businesses that would be in a position to get an ISP. But realistically speaking, I mean, if I'm opening a salon and I want to hire a hairdresser, it might be a bit difficult for me because now I need to think about, I don't know, maybe for you it might not be as complex as it sounds to me. To have an ISP instead of an employee. Let's say someone wants to have an employee, you know, what are those first steps that they need to take in order to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, you know, when employing this person?
Okay, so the first thing is a job analysis. Probably people thought I was going to say it's about how you recruit or doing a job advert. No, it's a job analysis first. Okay. Who do you actually need in your business? It goes back to economics. It goes back to accounting principles. For your business to grow, what are the positions that you need? This is where HR specialists come in. Not all HR specialists. They can come in and do a job analysis, a workplace analysis, and see, okay, for your type of business, where you want to go, these are the people you need to hire this year. This is who you need to hire next year or in 5 years' time. And then once you have that sorted, then what are they going to do? Then it's the job description. What are these people going to be employed to do? Because you also want to see, do they have, like when you mentioned, Hore, will this person have enough work to do for the whole month? So what will they be responsible for? Yes. Then you write a job description. And then once you have that in place, then you go out in the market to start a recruitment process where you send out a job advert because now you know who you want.
Yes.
Or the caliber of person you want or the qualifications they need to have in order for them to do that job successfully.
Okay. So there's 3 stages that we spoke about. Job analysis, job description, and the recruitment process.
Yes. It's actually called the recruitment and selection process.
Recruitment and selection. Okay. And selection. Okay. And yeah. You know, every time when we have this discussion, I'm thinking about someone who's starting out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, do they really need to do, I mean, if I'm starting my business of a salon, you know, I'm not going to get an HR person to come and do a job analysis.
Yeah, I get you.
And I'll probably know, okay, fine, but I'm total luang bana. You know, they must know how to luang robots or, you know.
Benyan Betty and all of those styles.
Yeah. So you do agree that they may skip the first 2.
They've already done those 2 steps. They've done a job analysis by saying, oh, can you do more total luang?
Oh,
but
okay.
They've done the job description. No, I need someone who's going to be able to plait kids' hair, different styles. They must be able to work with weaves or dreadlocks or whatever the case. You're doing that process. It's just that it's not maybe formalized because you're not a big corporation that must now submit reports to the labor department every year because you're just starting out.
Yeah.
So you're not skipping those steps. You are actually doing those steps.
Okay.
And then when you recruit, you might not have a job advert out or whatever, but you're going to be going on Facebook or talking to your friend. Oh, I see, salon and
Yeah.
that's your recruitment. That's your job advert. You just did it by mouth.
Okay.
You didn't do a formal document. So you are doing those steps.
Okay. All right.
And then when you select the person who's going to do the steps, you're going to give them a kid's head and say, Lo apeni and peti. Let's see.
Okay.
Or plait my hair. Do this hairstyle. Usually in the beauty industry, you test on the owner. The owner gets your service to see how their client will experience you.
Yeah.
If it's a massage parlor, you massage the owner. So the owner
So
they know what
the
the client.
too...
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you're doing those steps.
I see. And then once I've selected this person that I want to now employ, I've recruited, I've selected, okay, I like how she, braided my hair. What is the next step?
The next step is to put it in writing.
Okay.
What are they employed for, when the employment date started, and what they'll be doing.
Okay.
That's your contract of employment.
Okay.
Because that's the first thing Department of Labor comes to look for when they do the inspections. Or how did you hire this person? Where's the record? And you also want that record. For example, not to be dwelling in the negative, because like I said, as an HR person, you always think of, what you're going to need when there's disputes or dismissals or retrenchments and things like that.
Yeah.
And let's say you're doing a retrenchment, but you don't even have employee contracts. How are you going to calculate your severance pay? You don't even know when these people's start dates were.
Yeah.
That's why you need a basic contract. Let's say you don't have to have a 12-pager contract like the one I draft. You can just have a one-pager that says, Osmiponi is employed as a hairdresser for kids and adults. She started 1 November 2025. Here's the employment address. Utlokola 4,000 a month. Basic.
That's it.
Basic, yeah.
Am I not tying myself up by giving? Because someone might be sitting here and thinking, if I give my guys a contract, I'm actually tying myself up because now they've got proof, that I employed them.
Yes. Tie yourself up. Yes, tie yourself up for the employees. Actually, you're going to do right by them. So you don't mind tying yourself up to them?
But I do. I don't want to tie myself up. It doesn't sound like a good strategy to me.
Okay, you can hire them as casual workers. But either way, there still must be some agreement. A contract is an agreement. Two parties agree on these certain parameters.
Yeah.
Because even a casual worker can go to the CCMA and say, no, this and this and that.
Yeah.
You'd rather have the record.
Yeah. And that was going to be my question. Let's say now I decide, no, this thing, your contract is not
for you.
For me. I don't wanna tie myself up, but I'm still gonna hire this person. Is there some sort of law that says you are actually bound by the basic conditions of employment, even if you did not give this person a contract, to honor these things? So someone that I've hired and I've not given them a contract, can they still take me to the CCMA? Will it make things worse for me if now the labor department comes to my saloon and they say, but where is your contracts, and I don't have them? Will it make it worse if now they take me to the CCMA and when we get there, the CCMA says, where's the contract of employment for this person? I'm just trying to get the disadvantages of not having this contract. Yes
to all your questions. Yes, you will be tied to some sort of contract. A contract, an employee relationship is that somebody needed a service and somebody's providing a service.
Yes.
That's already the start of a contract. Come fry the chips, go my kota shop. You're in a contract. Common law. You're in a contract.
Okay.
Because and there might be a witness who heard you say, maybe also now o frying baloni. O hira o frying the chips. Or e fry the chips.
Yes.
You've entered in a contract. You are bound. You have the responsibility. When you're an employer, people must understand when you start businesses, it's not a small thing. You are responsible.
Yeah.
The accountability is on you to make sure that person is in a safe environment, that person is remunerated properly, that person has the breaks, the rest periods that are contracted by law. for them to have. So you would still be affected by all the labor laws. And yes, you would get into more trouble at the CCMA if you are now not a responsible employer. It's even worse for you because you didn't even get a contract for your employee. You don't even check that they have ventilation where they are. Friday chips the window. You look bad. Then the employee will win the case.
Okay. So essentially, there's no dodging of this bullet.
There's no dodging of this bullet. There are different types of employment relationships, like contract workers, people on a fixed term contract. Still, but though it's a contract, they still have to have their leaves, just that it's calculated differently.
Okay.
Then there's casual workers, people who you only hire when it's required. You have people on freelance contracts, like freelancers. That's usually in the film industry and all of that. Yes, they're on freelance. Either way, it's a contract. It's a form of employment.
Okay. I think we will talk about the contract at a later stage. For someone who is looking for more information on the labor law, where do they go?
You come to me, Lerato Modise, HR consultant.
Yes.
Okay, but apart from me,
definitely.
But
they should contact you.
No, they should contact me because I can make it simpler and not so cumbersome. But you go online, Department of Labor. Start by downloading the 4 main acts. Read them. That's your start point. Start with the basic conditions of employment. That's the best starting point.
So the basic conditions, labor law.
Labor Relations
Act, and
Employment Equity
Act. Why should I worry about employment equity?
Because
if you're already, I mean,
equity is not just about race. It's also about gender, and it's also about disabled or not disabled.
Yeah.
So it's just not just about the skin color. So employment equity also started because people were treated. Now there was basic conditions of employment, but now people were not treated fairly. This one was treated like this. Affirmative action is where Employment Equity Act is derived from affirmative action principles.
Okay.
Women were a disadvantaged group. And now you can see more women are driving now, more women are employed now because they were a disadvantaged group in the past. And employment equity is the act that fought for them to also have an equal opportunity to men to a certain job.
Okay.
Like an employee, a woman can also be a chemical engineer. There are some jobs where the gender will be a factor.
Yeah.
And it's not discriminatory. It's not unfair. It's not equal. It's because of the nature of the job. But in most cases, you must give people fair opportunity. People of all races, gender, and disability statuses, a fair opportunity for the employment. Okay. And I hear your question. You in Soweto? Why must you really worry about that? Or you're running your spaza shop. You're running your hair salon. Maybe the Department of Labor won't get to you. But what if they do? That's the question I'd leave you with.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get away with it for 10 years. But on the 11th year, will you still get away with it?
But it's good also to have knowledge, I guess, and understand the different laws. The final one that you mentioned is the one on training. I keep forgetting it.
The skills development.
Okay. Why is that important?
It's important to develop people. It also goes to fairness. Some people are hired, but they're a cleaner for 45 years. Or they're at the receptionist level for 45 years. They're not allowed to grow from there, whether they're women or they're African or colored or whatever race. So it's about having people evolve. Because as people, we do evolve, we do grow. So it's about giving them an opportunity to grow into other levels. Because some people choose to stay. It's okay to be if you want to be a receptionist for 50 years and you're comfortable with that, it's okay, But the employer must give you an opportunity to grow from there, should you have an interest. Yeah. And also, the employer has the responsibility to educate the nation. That's why the employer contributes to the skills development levy, because it's a responsibility to the nation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lerato, I can see my team. They've got sign languages.
What are they saying?
And they are saying, "Guys, time up, please."
Yo, we just scratched the surface. Okay.
Yeah. So I think let's leave it here for today. But thank you very much. I am happy that as a co-host we are soldiering on. Until next time again, what do you think we're going to be talking about next?
We can go into the details of what it means to have an employee. What do you need to be compliant with? UIF, COIDA, all those lovely things.
Yeah, okay.
Lovely things.
Right. Lerato, until next time,
until next time.
Thanks.